Well, with X-Men 97's getting fans fired up for Marvel's Mutants once again, we got a new report that seems to indicate that Marvel Studios' live-action reboot of the characters could begin production way sooner than anybody was predicting. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the report, where it comes from, and what it means for the possibilities of the live-action X-Men. Now, before we do that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Well, for many fans, we've been wondering since the day Disney bought 20th Century Fox when the mutants, and specifically the X-Men, were going to show up in the MCU. Now, under Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Marvel Studios started churning out, an endless stream of content. And from movies to TV shows to special presentations, it felt like every single character was given the spotlight, except, our favorite mutants. Now, this ultimately diluted the brand, and with Bob Iger back in charge, the company seems to be doing everything they can do to right the ship and try to once again return to a quality over quantity approach. Now, one thing that has been very noticeably absent in the MCU since Endgame was the Avengers, and although we do have 2 Avengers movies on the horizon, Avengers 5 and Secret Wars, many fans, including myself, have been wondering if X-Men could take its place, and that's kind of where this update comes in. This doesn't come from Marvel Studios or a trade, but it does come from Production Weekly, and we've talked about Production Weekly on this channel before. It's not the end-all be-all, but it is an industry newsletter that tries to get all the supporting industries on the same page and helps many of these organizations plan for the upcoming years. Now, what they are saying is Marvel Studios' reboot of the X-Men franchise in live action will kick off production in late 2025. Now, this means the new X-Men movie could come at us quite a lot sooner than expected, but nothing about this seems to confirm that as fact. The same publication also says that Shang-Chi 2 will begin next March, with Armor Wars scheduled for 2024, and even Vision Quest, which we heard was cancelled, for later this year. It seems to me that with the X-Men, Marvel might be taking a bit of an unexpected approach. Rather than waiting until a year or 2 after Secret Wars concludes the multiverse saga, it seems like Marvel might go ahead and get out there and start rebooting these mutant franchises and try to start to kick off some new corners of the Marvel Universe, like not only the X-Men, but maybe X-Force, Wolverine, and of course there's got to be a place for Deadpool. Now, we know Kevin Feige is a huge fan of the X-Men. Last year he said, and I quote, "The X-Men are as solid and as rich and as great a concept in characters as exists." Part of the fun is that I've been at this company for half my life, and we're just now tapping into arguably one of the biggest aspects of the publishing history. Now, I think it would be super wise for Marvel Studios to get the X-Men out in front of fans as soon as possible. Non-believers have consistently underestimated exactly how popular the X-Men are, and I think for many people who have been around since the early days of the franchise, they absolutely know it is a Goliath-sized hit, and it will definitely draw not just the staple Marvel Studios fans, but many other fans from the previous franchise, and those who have steered clear of Marvel because there were no X-Men, all into theaters. It's super important that they get this right, and I suspect Deadpool and Wolverine is going to give us the first hint on how Marvel will handle these mutants, and everything we see from that looks great, so for me, this only makes me more excited. How it all turns out, we're going to have to wait and see.